The trouble started in December 2019 after an Edgewater Police Department holiday party in Golden. That's when Sergeant Nathan Geerdes is accused of repeatedly touching a female officer as they took an Uber to a bar in Arvada. Then at the bar, according to the indictment, Geerdes cornered the woman in a hallway, pinned her against a wall, and ran his hands over her body. Geerdes appeared in a Jefferson County courtroom on a video link this morning, charged with 4 counts of unlawful sexual contact and retaliation against a witness. Edgewater's city manager told 9 Wants to Know that a year passed before the city learned of the allegations and launched an internal investigation. That was in December 2020. 6 weeks later, Inglewood's police chief told Geerdes he was contemplating discipline, and days later, Geerdes handed in his resignation. But before his last day in Edgewater, Geerdes allegedly accused another officer of having ratted him out, threatening to ruin his law enforcement career and come after his family. After Geerdes left the Edgewater Police Department, he was hired as an officer in Blackhawk. The chief there fired him Tuesday after the indictment was unsealed. But so far, it's not clear what Blackhawk knew before hiring him.
So the question becomes now, I mean, we've seen this happen several times now where officers seem to move from jurisdiction to jurisdiction without any penalty or even awareness of what they may have done in the past.
That's right. There's a law in the books now that requires this stuff to be reported to the board that certifies police officers in this state, but that law was not in place when this happened.
Okay, so we know we started your story just a tad bit early, but what you were saying was that they say they didn't know about this complaint, right? That was the first reason why it took so long. But also then, I guess, when they resign in a circumstance like this, does anyone ever find out? Like, but if somebody says, okay, something bad happened, I'm gonna quit, but then I'm gonna wait a while to apply somewhere else.
I asked the Edgewater city manager exactly that question. Was this information shared with Blackhawk? And he was unable to answer that question. It's their normal practice to share on-the-job stuff with departments when they're asking for things, but he pointed out that this was an incident outside of work hours, on the officer's own time. So we don't know yet what Blackhawk was told.
But there is now an indictment.
There is an indictment. He's being held on $100,000 bond, cash only, and he's due back in court at the end of January.
And do we know, did Edgewater look into it with a full internal affairs, or was it never looked at? Was it somewhat looked into?
They brought in an outside firm to conduct an investigation, and that's what led to them telling him he was going to be disciplined and then to his resignation, according to the indictment.
Okay. Much more to follow on this one, and we know that's your job. So that's why you're on the investigative team, Kevin. So we'll stay tuned for updates on this. Thank you.